Hey, giant builders. So, surprise guest for you today. It's actually me. I wanted to share some things that God has shown me over the past couple of months. So, let's get started.
Building spirituality, family, health, and business. This is The Giant Builders with Lois Wyant.
Welcome, giant builders. First off, I want to let you know that if you did not see last week's episode, please check it out. Our guest last week was a stroke survival victim, and I loved her impact on the school that she works at, as far as just how she encouraged the students to look beyond themselves and help them to just really be so beneficial. I just love her encouragement, and you'll love how she takes dragon stories and teaches our children about the states of our country. So please check that out. So tomorrow is Valentine's Day. And so as we come to Valentine's Day, this is not like your typical pre-Valentine's Day type of podcast recording. I'm not here to talk about your relationships to your spouse or your boyfriend or your girlfriend. I want to talk about your relationship with you. I feel like this is a great time to talk about this, being the day before Valentine's Day and the things that God has shown me over the past couple of months. And I come to you humbly to share this with you. I'm not coming to you saying, hey, this is the great things that come in your life. I'm coming to you to say, I am flawed. I am so flawed. And this is what God has enlightened me to. And just to share with you how some of my past guests on the Giant Builders have really opened my insights, my vision to God, my listening to God, and just what He's helped me learn from some of the past guests. So let's, if you missed my episode with Tiffany Kellogg, that was episode 154, and it was actually not too long ago. It was January 16th. But in her episode, I was very touched because she talks about how to create 13 months in a year. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. I could really use an extra month. I mean, we're here in February and get an extra day, but just to actually get like a whole extra month would be so wonderful. And her tips sound simple, but yet they're not easy. And in one of Tiffany's suggestions that really hit me, it was like deleting distractions and questioning their significance. So, for example, many of the distractions that get in our way also distract us from God and could actually be considered like replacements of God. And so she actually talks about a cell phone. And so, yes, I have a cell phone, and yes, I spend too much time on it. I'm not as glued to it as a lot of people, but it is a distraction. So, as I'm thinking through the things that Tiffany shared, I was thinking through my personal relationship with my phone. And my realization was that I had some games on my phone that were really a distraction. And so so that I had 4 games that were kind of a thing that I like to do. So I would do like 2 games in the morning, just like maybe like before getting out of bed. I would do 1 game like while watching a movie, and then I would do a different game like just before bed. So, so as I thought through the process of these games, other than the one that I watched during the movie, I would probably spend like roughly 30 to 40 minutes on the other 3 games. And as Tiffany shared, in the episode, if you take the 30 to 40 minutes times 30 days in a week, that's like 15, 20 hours a month that I could regain to do something more beneficial to my surroundings, the people in my life. I could do something better with those hours. So I actually deleted, I didn't like say, oh, I'm not going to watch these, I'm not going to play these games anymore. I literally deleted them off my phone. And honestly, the first couple of days, it was really hard not to like pick up my phone and go search for those games. And honestly, in the back of my mind, I thought, well, I could put that game back on and I won't play with it very long. But I did not. I kept them off my phone. And I am really enjoying the extra time now. But because kind of like takes us to another step with another coach. So then, just before I decided to do this, I had a coach who introduced me to the book, The Miracle Morning. So this book, it's by Hal Elrod and Pat Petrini. I'm probably not saying that right. But I really loved this book and kind of just give you kind of my highlights of it. It breaks down 6 components, which spells savers, SAVERS. And these are things that the author suggests doing each day, specifically in the morning. And so I've been practicing this for a couple of weeks. And again, like taking the games off the phone, it's hard, but it's working into my routine. So S in the book stands for silence. And the book is just different ways of using silence, or some might think of it as meditation. But how I am putting silence in my life is I take those few minutes before I get out of bed in the morning and I sit silently and I take a couple deep breaths and I just thank God. I thank Him for another day. I thank Him for anything that I know is coming up in that day that's going to be exciting. I ask for guidance, a chance to serve someone, and just to thank Him for being there for me. The A stands for affirmation. And the book actually even expresses that, the old way of affirmation is to tell yourself, I am a millionaire. And your mindset works to be a millionaire. And I don't know if you've read that before, but I've read I have read too many books in that way. And to say, oh, I am a millionaire, or I will make $10,000 this month, doesn't really work for me. Now, if it works for you, kudos, but it doesn't work for me. So he actually takes it into like a 4-step process of an affirmation, which kind of, again, just kind of putting it into basics. It's like saying, I am committed to, and to do this, I will. So, and it's breaking it down a little bit more in your mind, saying that, okay, I I will commit to do this so that this will happen. And he actually breaks it into like different areas, like your financial, your family, your relationships, your faith. And so my affirmation is pretty long. It's typed out. It's like a half a page. And so I read that each morning. Then the V stands for visualization. And the process of visualizing who you want to be and what you want. And he shares 3 steps to building up that visualization. So after I read my affirmation, I visualize. I kind of go short terms, like, okay, what do I visualize in the next month? So this has been a really chaotic time because we actually bought a house that we're moving. So I'm visualizing the moving and the moving in the house and the new garden in my house and those types of things. So that's my visualization right now. So mine is kind of a short-term visualization. I'm working on a longer term, but for right now, I'm kind of working on the short term. So you do what works best for you. The E stands for exercise. And I love the fact that it's exercise for your body and your brain. So that was really helpful to me as far as like, yeah, I know I need to exercise my body, but also exercising the brain makes a big difference too. The R stands for reading, and he suggests 10 pages he suggests 10 pages a day. So if you think about it, that would be 3,650 pages a year, which depending on the size of book, like if you have an average 200-page book, that would be like reading 18 books a year. That's a lot of material to put into your mind. So I really liked that concept of like, hey, if you can do 10 pages a day, that is just a great step into the process. The S stands for scribing. And I will tell you that this one is my weakest point. I just have a really hard time writing in the morning. So I have a program, and it's called Panzu. I'll put a link in below. It's a free um, kind of a journal type of program. And so basically the scribing is to like document insights, some ideas, breakthroughs that you've had, some realizations, success, lessons that you've learned. So that would be the scribing area. So that is the Savers, Savers. And I am enjoying it. It really helps me set a different mindset for the morning and just kind of a different impact for my day. So another speaker that has been very helpful to me is Shiraz. He's a mindset coach, and you'll find him in episode 92. And he is one of my personal coaches, and we're focusing on breaking habits of being things that are blocking us. And one of the things that we're going through is he has a book kind of review type thing. And we're going through the book, Focus on Breaking the Habits of Being Oneself. And this is a challenging thing because there's so many, basically the thought is that we are ingrained in our mind and in our subconscious area, old thoughts that either people have put onto us or that we've connected to or we've put into ourselves, and just kind of changing some of those thoughts and the directions and the process of who we are and how can that be changed. So I'm actually listening to the book for that one, and I'm into the meditation section. So I'm really excited to see what's going to form for me as I work through that process. Now, another guest who has helped me is Lauren Best, and she is episode 119, and she's a hypnotist. And so we have worked on some hypnotism and visualizing different things. It's just the hypnotism is just really intriguing to me. But I also have a kind of a mindset recording that she made for me. And I listen to that as I'm going to sleep. And I listen to it a couple times every night. And it's just really encouraging. And it really does help me wake up in a different process or a different mindset. So I think one of the great things about learning to love yourself and some of these tools that I've been working with to learn to love myself is that the Bible really shares that, in order to love others, you do need to love yourself. And so I think you're going to enjoy next week's episode. It's Dr. Pauline Dillard, and she is a relationship specialist. And man, I was just overwhelmed with all the things that she shares with relationships with a spouse. And I think you're going to find that really, really very encouraging as well. As I say, happy Valentine's Day to my loved ones, I would like to invite you to also say happy Valentine's Day to yourself, because your relationship with yourself is such an important one and can emphasize and make such a big difference on your relationship with those people around you. So please look up some of these resources, some of these books. They'll have them in the media section. And just love yourself because you are very special. You are a gift from God, and God made you in his image. So happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you for listening. This has been The Giant Builders with Lois Wyant.